Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Kate B., a public speaking and presence coach, and I am here today to talk about one of the things that I get asked all the time, and that is, how do I stop? The ability to stop is one of those things that we are reaching for when we talk about clarity, when we're talking about being concise. We are talking about using fewer words and knowing when to stop speaking, as I have done several times already, coming to a slight pause, almost like a hitch in your step when you are speaking. And it does take practice to get used to stopping yourself, of hearing that voice in your head going, okay, stop talking. Why are you still talking? You're just going on and on. You've already said that. You're just repeating yourself. You've lost the audience. Now I'm going to talk more so that I can try and get them back. And I'm going to explain again what I just explained. And stop talking. I have some ways for you to practice this because it is a skill and it is something that you can practice. The tips that I'm going to give you, like most of the tips that I give, are very simple. The question is, will you practice them? Your first tip is to read out loud. Read books, read literature, read poetry, read Shakespeare, Emily Dickinson, E. E. Cummings, Maya Angelou. The list goes on and on. Read out loud and mind the punctuation. I'm going to demonstrate that here in a moment. I'll have to get my glasses, and I've got my book right here. When I was in graduate school, this was studying theater and performance, got my MFA in theater. One of the things we would have to do that was incredibly uncomfortable, but incredibly effective, was to deliver a line of text. Let's say we were doing Shakespeare. And at the end of the sentence, wherever the period was, we would have to come to a full and complete stop and take a full and complete breath. So to exhale whatever was left and inhale, and then continue with the next line, the next thought, whatever was next on the page. This got me used to, this accustomed me to, one, being able to speak in sentences, which a lot of the times we don't do. We use and so, or but. We use these connecting verbs, these connecting words. And what happens is we never come to a stop. So getting your body, your articulators, used to finding the punctuation and coming to a stop, or minding the commas, minding the exclamation points, minding the dashes and the semicolons and the question marks. This is a somatic practice that will help you develop the ability to come to a stop, to stop talking, to say a complete thought and then end the sentence. I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to do a little bit of practice. This is from a book that I have a lot of experience with. It's been a part of my life for a long time, since I was a little girl. And this is the poem that I am going to read. Now, for those of you who are watching the video, you can look right here. Look, this poet, Alice Cary, a poem called Nobility, died in 1871. And you know what I see on the page? M dashes. Long before AI came around, this was a way that many poets and many playwrights and many authors played with language on the page. It was an indication to the reader about what was happening, or it's almost an M dash to me is almost as if you are interrupting, like, oh, I'm really going to say this thing, but I want to go over here and say this thing, and then I'll come back and finish the sentence. True worth is in being, not seeming, in doing each day that goes by some little good, not in dreaming of great things to do by and by. For whatever men say in their blindness, and in spite of the fancies of youth, there's nothing so kingly as kindness, and nothing so royal as truth. That was obviously a poem in verse, in rhyming couplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, I'm not an expert on poetry, but I know that if you use it in this way as a speaker, to get used to the periods, the commas, the em dashes, the question marks, the exclamation points, so on and so forth. And when you come to a stop, to accustom yourself to stopping, you'll be better off for it. Okay, so that's one practice, reading out loud, minding punctuation. The next practice is in real life. And I encourage this practice when you are dealing with a clerk at a gas station or checking out at Walmart or grocery shopping or ordering your coffee. And that is to pick one place in your sentence and your coffee order and the exchange to stop. Yes, it might be a little weird to just stop in the middle of whatever you're saying. Most likely the person you're talking to won't notice a little hitch, a little vocal hitch in your step. But it will get you used to thinking the idea of stop, pause, and then doing so. A lot of times we know we need to stop. It is not news to us that we're speaking too much. The question is, how do we actually do it? So, being mindful of it and then practicing in real life, in real time, a little bit of a stop and pause. And then you will learn that the world's not going to stop. Most likely the person just going to look at you expecting you to go on. And that's fine. There is a conversation to be had, what happens after the pause. And I do think that one of the keys to being a really great speaker is how to hold that pause, meaning you can pause and let the energy drop, or you can pause and let the energy be suspended. And just sit in it. A pause allows for your partner in communication, your audience, whoever it is you're speaking to process what it is you are saying or what you have said. It allows you to stop and take a breath, gather your thoughts, redirect if you need to. It gives an opportunity for the other person to ask a question, to contribute to the exchange. It creates air so that people don't feel like they're being run over. And, if you read any literature about negotiations, they will tell you that one of the most powerful things you can do is to hold your space, is to hold that silence. And what happens is a lot of the times we get really uncomfortable, we get really itchy, we feel that we need to collapse the space, that we need to jump in to keep things moving forward, that if we don't, everything's going to fall apart. But that ability to hold space and stillness and silence is one of the hallmarks of confidence, of personal power. Okay, the third tip I have is around movement. Again, a lot of the times when we need to stop speaking or sort of adjacent to the issue of not knowing when to stop talking is speaking too fast. Again, I'm going to bring forward training from my theater work, from my conservatory study that has served me really well as a speaker and facilitator and coach. And that is the idea of slow movement. What happens when we get nervous is we get tight, right? Our fight or flight instinct kicks up when we are uncomfortable or awkward or when we're nervous. And when that inner critic starts kicking up in our mind, that is an indication that we are nervous, we're uncomfortable. And so we start talking faster and faster. We want to cover the silence. We just want to get to the end. And oh my gosh, what am I saying? I've totally lost my train of thought, but I'm going to just keep talking because I think if I talk long enough, I'm going to come back around to the point. And so we start going really fast. our movements become fast. We get tighter, our shoulders scrunch up, maybe our brow starts wrinkling, but we get really tight because of this fight or flight response. When we can introduce some slow movement, for instance, when you are practicing a speech or a presentation, a conversation, you're in your mind role acting or role playing a conversation you need to have with your boss, a colleague, a partner, whatever it is, I want you to imagine you have an accordion between your hands and you are just very easily and very slowly expanding that accordion and compressing it. And there's a little bit of tension, right? In the expansion, it's easier, right? Oh, that's easy. But when we compress things, there's a little bit of tension. There's a little bit of, right, effort, of energy that is involved in that. And I just want you, and you can go ahead, maybe you're doing it already, or if you're in the car and you're driving and listening to this, if you just want to do it even with one hand, and just feel that embodied movement, the impact of that somatic gesture in your nervous system. It might begin to relax you. You might feel some tension dissipating from your body. This is a really wonderful exercise to do for a few moments before you walk into a meeting or a presentation. It gives your body the kinesthetic awareness, the sort of physiological awareness to slow down, which makes stopping a whole lot easier. So those are 3 tips. Read out loud, mind the punctuation, practice in real life, make it awkward if you have to, and incorporate movement, the movement of your hands slowing down, tension to your body, in an effort to help you slow down and find that stillness. Find that stoppage. Your communication, your clarity will be more productive, be more conscious, be more effective because of this skill. I hope that was helpful. Happy practicing, and I'll see you back here in the future.